This YouTube video will not be about Super Bowl highlights or Olympic highlights or even Puppy Bowl highlights. I'm sure all those stories and adventures and highlights will be covered very amply elsewhere on YouTube and other places like that, the news media. This is one of our videos from St. Mark's Episcopal in Dalton, Georgia. I'd like to welcome you to join us today on this, where we try to speak about the transformative power of Christ and his resurrection. You know, we've all read this week leading up to the Super Bowl and the Olympics and everything else about that the Super Bowl, particularly in America, has been called the most unifying event in our country. And what they mean by unifying is that nearly everyone will either be watching the game of the Super Bowl or watching the commercials or even watching the halftime show, that all of our attention will be paid for towards the Super Bowl. And also the Olympics, the same thing. The Olympics originally established to help unify the world, if you remember from those days. Well, paying our attention towards something is not necessarily unifying. If we pay our attention towards something that does not bring us closer together, we have a shared experience, but not necessarily are the same with that. But last week we talked about trying to come together and what can we do as individuals to bring this nation and the world closer together and closer to Christ. Last week we discussed listening as part of our mission to making disciples of the whole world and bringing God's kingdom to this world, that we need to learn to listen to the hearts and to the needs of others. This week I was reading about the new Episcopal Bishop of Alabama. His name is Richard Lawson, who was sworn in, and he was in his first sermon to the people in his diocese, said there are times in life, in this life and the life to come, where reason alone will not get us very far. He says what we need for the mind, the heart to work, have needs other than that to work together. The type of healing that Jesus offered is to bring the hearts and the minds of people together. And he gave the example in Matthew 9, chapter 36 verse. He says that when Jesus saw the crowds, he was moved to compassion. And he suggests that this compassion towards others, is what will unify us and what we need at this time. I suggest, as he says, that during these times we focus our attention not on just our troubles and divisions in our nation and the world, but to listen to the hurts and unmet needs of others, like we talked about last week, and to offer compassion to the hearts and minds of others. Perhaps focusing our attention on compassion on others and will result in the type of highlights that this world needs.